Bring me the final sacrifice on the night of the red moon. I will grant you eternity, and I get to live within you, and through your soul I will walk again in the world of men.
Stay close. Don't make a sound.
I feel it. We're near it.
Something is wrong. The air changed.
If we're caught here, there's no way out.
The red moon is approaching. It is time to prepare the final sacrifice. Keep your eyes on her at all times. Every step she takes, I want to know it.
After all these years, the final key walks back to me on her own.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Sorry that I've been away for a while. I had to pause. I've been kind of busy, occupied with a lot of things. But I'm back now, and trust me, this episode is worth the wait. A lot of secrets are about to be reviewed, like it's getting darker. So watch out for this episode. Let's get right into the story.
Before Serin could react, a strong hand covered her mouth and pulled her into the shadows behind the stone pillars. Her heart pounded violently as fear took over. Being caught wandering the palace at night could destroy her life before morning. She struggled, but a low, calm whisper stopped her. "Stay still." The voice was familiar. Very familiar. Serin froze. Heavy footsteps of royal guards approached, torches flickering across the corridor. Serin held her breath as the stranger pulled her closer against the wall. The guards passed only steps away. Then, silence returned. Only then did the stranger remove the cloth from his face. Serin's eyes widened. "Your Highness," it was Crown Prince Junhua. For a moment, neither spoke. The moonlight barely reached them, and the silence felt heavy. Only now did Serin realize how close he was. Too close. Junhua quickly stepped back. "You truly have no fear," he said quietly. "Following Lady Han at this hour? Do you know how dangerous this palace is?" Serin steadied herself. "Lady Han, does she truly meet the Emperor in secret?" Junhua gave a tired, bitter smile. "Of course she does. She has for years." He leaned against the pillar. "My mother was only the Emperor's second wife. Nothing surprises me anymore." There was no anger in his voice, only quiet exhaustion. Then he looked at her. "You need to be careful, Serin. There are secrets in this palace that destroy anyone who discovers them." Serin studied him. "How did you know I was going there?" Junhua hesitated briefly. "I know more about this palace than people think." It wasn't a real answer, and Serin noticed. After a pause, he said, "The guards have moved. Come with me." He took her hand and led her through a hidden path behind the palace walls. Soon, the oppressive silence faded into the sound of flowing water. They arrived at a hidden riverside garden, glowing with lantern trees. Moonlight shimmered on the river as petals drifted across the surface. "No one comes here," Junhua said softly. Serin finally relaxed. "Sit," he added, pointing to a stone bench. They sat in silence. Away from the palace, Junhua no longer looked distant or untouchable, just human, tired, and lonely. "You know what they think of me?" he asked. "They see a weak prince. Invisible. Harmless." He gave a faint smile. "At first it hurt. Then I realized being invisible has advantages. I started noticing things others ignore." His gaze drifted toward the palace. "Something is wrong in Haryun. People are afraid. Villages avoid guards. Disappearances are increasing." His expression darkened. "My father is not the man he used to be. It's like someone is whispering into his ears." One name flashed in Serin's mind, Lord Kang. Junhua continued, his voice lower. "The disappearances began worsening after the Arinseo were brought into the kingdom." Serin stiffened. "Are you saying my people are responsible?" "No," Junhua said firmly. "Your people are suffering the most." He leaned closer. "The missing people are not random. They are spiritually gifted, healers, seers, prophecy keepers. People with rare spiritual energy." Serin's heartbeat tightened. Junhua continued. "The Arinseo have stronger spiritual connections than most tribes. They understand healing, visions, ancestral balance, things many fear because they don't understand them." Lantern light reflected on the river. "And that fear," he whispered, "is being used against them." Then he studied Serin carefully, as if expecting recognition. But she only stared back. "You truly don't remember anything," he said quietly. Serin frowned. What are you talking about? Junhua exhaled. You must have forgotten everything after your injury. His tone shifted, less accusing and more worried. You were the one who suggested we meet the seer. Serin Frost, you said answers were hidden among the old spiritual keepers outside the capital. Chills ran through her. The original Serin knew far more than she did. And the promise we made? Junhua added. The Bakwen Circle. The name hung between them, a group of palace workers, guards, scholars, villagers, and your people. All tired of fear. All wanting to restore the kingdom. Serin's chest tightened. Everything was connecting. This was why Junhua died. Why she was called a traitor. They weren't destroying the kingdom. They were trying to save it. And someone betrayed them. A cold realization hit her. That traitor might still be close. She forced herself to lie. Ever since my injury, everything feels new. Junhua's expression softened. That explains it. Then he became serious again. We still need the seer. Things are moving faster than before. He lowered his voice. They may come for your family, or you. Serin stiffened. The Arinseo bloodline is spiritually gifted. That makes you targets. For the first time, Serin saw fear in him. Not for himself, but for her. That's why I brought you into the palace, Junhua said. Serin blinked. You? You challenge guards. You draw attention. I needed you close, to protect you. Her mind shifted. She had thought she was being controlled, but he had been shielding her. Junhua's gaze darkened. I believe my father and Lord Kang are behind this, but I don't yet understand how deep it goes. Then he added, There's something else you don't remember. Serin looked up. I arranged your position in the palace through Lady Han Soya. Why? At first I tried to change my father, but nothing worked. His voice lowered, so I stopped acting openly. While they saw me as weak, I moved quietly. Serin firmly understood. He had never been powerless, only strategic. I needed you close, he said, because you were already attracting attention outside the palace. Then softer. You have always been brave, Serin. A pause. And your people, the Arinseo saved my life when I was a child. Serin looked at him. My mother and your healers never gave up on me. His voice darkened. And now they are being hunted. Silence fell. We still need answers, Junhua said finally. The seer lives beyond the eastern cliffs, near the Bakwon ruins. We leave in 2 nights. He leaned in slightly. Until then, trust no one. Far above them, beyond mortal skies, the Hall of Balance watched. The mirror showed chaos spreading through time, burning villages, broken seals, and collapsing spiritual gates. Lady Mirian whispered. The disorder deepens, Elder Zareth replied. One man's obsession poisoned centuries. Lord Kang Daejin, a man who sought immortality through forbidden rituals. And in doing so, he weakened the seal of an ancient entity, Mokrion, the devourer beneath the veil. It fed on fear, grief, and desperation. Though Lord Kang died long ago, the corruption remained, spreading through generations, twisting power and history itself. Lady Mirian looked into the mirror. The original Serin failed. General Haniel added, She was betrayed, but Mirian's gaze sharpened. This Serin is different. She carries knowledge across time. Zareth warned. Knowledge alone won't be enough. Silence followed. The final seal required a willing soul tied to both worlds. Only Serin's bloodline could complete it. If she learns the truth too early, she may refuse. But Mirian said softly, That is exactly why she is the one. Back in Heryun, peace did not last. Far beyond the palace, at the estate of Lord Kang Daejin, known as the House of Golden Walls, darkness continued to grow behind guarded gates. Rows of lanterns lit the stone pathways leading into Lord Kang's estate. Servants moved quickly with lowered heads, afraid of making mistakes. The gardens stretched wider than entire villages, filled with rare statues and gold-trimmed roofs glowing under the moonlight. Everything screamed power, wealth, and control. Lord Kang was richer than most royal families. Some even whispered the emperor trusted him more than his own blood. But what terrified people most was not the wealth, it was the silence. People entered the estate. Few ever truly returned. Deep beneath the luxury, under layers of forbidden stone, lay a hidden underground chamber. cold, damp, and alive with darkness. Strange, glowing symbols covered the walls, as if something unseen was breathing through them. This was the true heart of Lord Kang's power. Years ago, before he rose to influence, Kang was only an ambitious noble, but his greatest fear was never failure. It was death. That fear led him to forbidden ruins, where he discovered ancient records of a sealed entity, Mokrian, the devourer beneath the veil, a spirit that fed on fear, grief, and spiritual energy. And in return, it granted unnatural youth and strength, but only through sacrifice. Not ordinary lives, but spiritually gifted bloodlines. Healers, seers, prophecy keepers. The Arinseo. At first, his experiments worked. His body healed. His strength returned. Time slowed, but Mokrian's hunger only grew. So the disappearances began. Gifted people vanished. Families were erased. Entire bloodlines disappeared overnight. Most blamed war or disease, but beneath Lord Kang's estate, the truth was blood and ritual. Each sacrifice fed Mokrian. Each offering brought Kang closer to immortality, until he discovered the final prophecy, the Red Moon Ceremony, a celestial alignment where Mokrian could fully bind to a human host. But it required one final offering, an Arinseo descendant tied to prophecy itself. Serin. That was why everything had been planned for years. The purges, the surveillance, the palace infiltration, all leading to the Red Moon. Inside the underground chamber, candles flickered violently around a black altar. Lord Kang stood there, barely aging, though dark veins now pulsed beneath his skin. He was no longer fully human. A distorted voice echoed through the chamber. "Bring the final bloodline and let me live inside you." Kang smiled. The Red Moon is near. Meanwhile, Serin struggled to focus inside the palace. But fear had already spread through the kingdom, quiet, unseen, and everywhere. Servants whispered less. Guards watched more. Even the air felt tense, and Yuna was missing. When she finally returned, she looked pale and shaken, unlike herself. Serin noticed immediately. "Where were you?" she asked. "Nowhere important," Yuna replied too quickly. Her tone changed, sharper and forced. Then suddenly, "What is going on between you and the Crown Prince?" "Serin froze." Yuna smiled faintly, but it didn't feel real. "You disappear. He watches you differently. He risks too much for you." Serin felt uneasy. Something was wrong, but it was not what she expected. Fear, not betrayal. Fear. Before she could press further, a stone tapped the window. It was a hidden messenger from Jinhua with a note. "The moon path is clear tonight. Meet me beyond the southern gate." That same night, Jinhua stood alone in an abandoned chamber of the palace, his mother's room. Dust floated in moonlight. Everything remained untouched. His mother's presence lingered in silence. He remembered her warnings. Do not trust every smile in this palace. He remembered her conflict with Lord Kang, and how she died too suddenly. Nothing was ever proved, but Jinhua never truly believed it was natural. Not completely. Because after her death, Lord Kang's influence over the emperor only grew stronger. Jinhua clenched his jaw slightly. For years, dreams had haunted him. Dreams of blood, dark rituals, a red moon hanging above the palace, and his mother crying while trying to warn him about something he could never fully remember after waking. Those dreams were part of what pushed him toward the truth, toward the disappearances, toward the darkness spreading through Heryun, and now toward Serin. A soft knock at the chamber entrance pulled him from his thoughts. One of his trusted messengers bowed quietly after delivering confirmation that the note had reached her safely. Jinhua nodded once before leaving the chamber. Later that night, Serin carefully covered herself with a dark cloak before preparing to leave the servant quarters. But just as she stepped outside, Yuna appeared from the shadows. "I am coming with you." Serin looked surprised. "Yuna, I already know you are meeting the Crown Prince." Her voice sounded calmer now, but her eyes still carried fear. Then quietly, almost painfully, she added, "Lord Kang's men have my parents. Serin froze, and the man I love," Yuna whispered. "They threatened all of them." The confession broke something inside her voice, and tears gathered in her eyes immediately. "They said if I refuse to obey them, they will disappear too. Please help me talk to the prince. Everything suddenly made sense. The fear, the distance, and the strange behavior. Serin's expression softened instantly. And in that moment, she realized Yuna was not evil. She was trapped, just like everyone else inside this kingdom. Serin slowly held her hand. "We will protect them," she whispered softly. Yuna looked at her silently, almost as if she wanted desperately to believe those words. Moments later, the two girls slipped carefully through the dark palace paths until they reached the southern gate, where Junhua waited beside two horses. The prince's expression immediately changed the moment he saw Yuna. "You brought her?" Serin nodded carefully before explaining everything quietly. Junhua listened in silence. His face hardened slightly after hearing of Lord Kang's involvement, but instead of refusing, he simply nodded. "Then she comes with us." The night wind moved softly around them as the palace gates disappeared behind their horses. And together, Serin, Yuna, and Crown Prince Junhua secretly made their way once more toward the Arinseo settlement beneath the darkening sky. The forest roads were quiet beneath the cold night wind as Junhua led the way carefully through hidden paths known only to a few trusted people. Ever since Minho disappeared, something no longer felt safe. It was as though invisible eyes were slowly closing in around them. No one spoke much. Yuna remained unusually silent beside Serin, her thoughts clearly trapped somewhere else. And Junhua kept scanning the roads around them, like a man expecting danger from every shadow. By the time they finally reached the outer edge of the settlement, most homes had already gone dark for the night. Only a few fire lamps still burned softly outside small wooden huts. Yet despite the hardships surrounding the Arinseo people, life still remained there. Children slept peacefully beside warm fires. Elders sat quietly beneath trees, whispering old prayers. And a distant group softly sang ancient healing songs beneath the night sky. The sound made Serin's chest ache strangely, because somehow, even after everything stolen from them, the Arinseo still held onto warmth. Junhua noticed it too. Serin noticed Junhua watching them silently again, and once more, she saw sadness in his eyes, the kind carried by a man ashamed of what his kingdom had become. As they moved deeper into the settlement, Serin's grandmother, Mama Zafira, quickly stepped outside her home after noticing them. The relief on her face appeared instantly the moment she saw Serin safe, but the expression quickly changed when her eyes landed on Junhua. Not fear, but careful concern. "Crown Prince," she greeted quietly with a respectful bow. Junhua immediately bowed back. "Please do not bow to me here," he said softly. "Not tonight." That alone surprised both Serin and Yuna. Very few royals ever lowered themselves before the Arinseo people. Mama Zafira studied him carefully for a moment before finally talking. "You took longer than the spirits warned me," she said softly. Serin blinked in surprise. "You knew we were coming." Mama Zafira adjusted the shawl over her shoulders before looking toward the dark sky. When the night birds cry toward the northern trees and the lantern fire bends without wind, it means troubled hearts are approaching. Even Yuna looked unsettled by her words. Junhua respectfully lowered his head slightly. Mama Zafira's eyes softened when they landed on Serin. "But tonight is different," she whispered quietly. Serin noticed it then. Her grandmother looked worried. Not ordinary worry, but the kind older people carried when they sensed danger before others could see it. Without wasting time, Mama Zafira motioned for them to follow her. The elder has been waiting. The deeper they walked into the northern part of the settlement, the quieter everything became. Even the wind felt different there. Still, heavy, and ancient. Then finally, they arrived before Elder Zorikai's home. Unlike the other homes within the settlement, his house stood completely alone beneath enormous sacred trees, wrapped in white spiritual cloths and old prayer charms. Small glowing stones surrounded the pathway leading toward the entrance, and strange symbols carved into wood and stone shimmered faintly beneath the moonlight. It did not feel like an ordinary home. It felt protected, as though unseen eyes guarded it. Before anyone could speak, the wooden door slowly opened, and Elder Zorikai stepped outside. The old seer stood tall despite his age. Long silver dreadlocks rested against his dark layered robes, while carved spiritual beads hung around his neck. But tonight, there was something unusually serious in his eyes. The moment his gaze landed on Serin, he became still, almost like he was listening to something only he could hear. Then quietly he spoke. "The threads are tightening." Serin felt chills rise across her skin. Zorakai slowly stepped aside. "Come inside." The inside of his home felt warm despite the cold outside. Candles burned softly across shelves filled with herbs, ancient scrolls, carved symbols, and bowls of glowing blue water. At the center of the room burned a silver-colored fire that gave warmth without smoke. As everyone settled around the fire, Elder Zorakai remained strangely focused on Serin, not with fear or confusion, but with deep understanding. Then finally, he spoke again. "Darkness has begun moving faster than before." Junhua immediately leaned forward slightly. "You know what is happening in the kingdom?" Zorakai nodded slowly. "I know enough to fear what is coming." The silver fire flickered violently for a brief moment. "The balance protecting this land is weakening," he continued quietly. "And the closer the red moon approaches, the stronger that darkness becomes." Yuna nervously lowered her eyes, and Serin swallowed slowly. Everything suddenly felt more real than before. Then Elder Zorakai slowly turned fully towards Serin. And for the first time that night, his voice carried weight powerful enough to silence the entire room. "Everything now lies in your hands." The words settled heavily inside Serin's chest. She stared at him in shock. "What do you mean?" The old seer's eyes softened sadly. "The path ahead will demand courage greater than fear," he said quietly, "because what is coming cannot be stopped with strength alone." The silver fire crackled softly. "You stand where fate has brought you for a reason, Serin." Junhua looked toward her carefully. Even he seemed unsettled hearing those words. Zorakai continued softly. "The evil growing inside this kingdom was born from greed, but it survives because good people remained silent too long." A heavy silence filled the room. Then his expression darkened slightly. "And now, shadows are searching." Junhua's jaw tightened immediately. "Searching for who?" The old seer slowly lifted his eyes toward him. "For those trying to resist." That answer alone changed the atmosphere inside the room. Not exposed, but hunted, as if danger was slowly drawing closer to all of them. Then suddenly, a young messenger surged toward the entrance breathlessly before kneeling immediately. "Your Highness," he said urgently. "The others are waiting." Junhua exchanged a look with Zorakai before standing. And moments later he quietly led Serin and Yuna beyond the settlement toward abandoned ruins hidden beneath thick vines and broken stone. At first glance, the place looked forgotten and dead, but hidden beneath the ruins, life existed. Junhua revealed a concealed entrance leading underground, and the moment Serin stepped inside, she realized how much the prince had truly been hiding. Maps covered the walls. Lanterns burned across tunnels filled with hidden supplies, coded letters, and weapons. Men and women moved carefully through the underground chamber exchanging secret information. Former guards, messengers, writers, healers, and survivors from oppressed villages. People quietly united under one purpose: to reclaim Heryun from the darkness consuming it. Serin slowly looked toward Junhua then, and for the first time, she realized the Crown Prince had never truly been weak. He had simply been waiting. The underground chamber remained quiet after Serin finally saw the full extent of Junhua's hidden resistance. No one there looked careless. Every face carried caution, and every movement felt planned. This was not a group built overnight. It was years of quiet preparation hidden beneath the kingdom's blindness. Junhua slowly stood before them all. The lantern light reflected softly against his face as he looked around the chamber. "For years," he began calmly, "we believed fear was enough to keep this kingdom silent. The room became still, but now people are disappearing openly." His voice hardened slightly. "Families are losing sons and daughters overnight. Villages are being watched. Spiritual bloodlines are being hunted." Several faces lowered quietly, because deep down, they all knew it was true. Junhua slowly turned toward Serin. "And if we do nothing now, there will be no kingdom left to save." Commander Daisung stepped forward carefully. "We received word from one of the palace workers tonight." He placed a folded map across the wooden table. "There is unusual movement beneath Lord Kang's estate." Immediately, the room tensed. Junhua narrowed his eyes slightly. "Beneath his estate?" Daisung nodded. "Servants carrying covered crates after midnight. Guards changing shifts near the old underground tunnels." Lady Mire stepped closer too. and records from missing villagers have been secretly erased from palace archives. A heavy silence filled the room. Then Serin slowly spoke. What if the missing people were never meant to return? Everyone looked toward her. The room suddenly felt colder. Junhua stared at the map quietly before finally lifting his eyes. We go tonight. Almost immediately, Daisung objected. Your Highness, it could be a trap. Junhua's voice remained calm. And if we keep waiting, more people disappear. No one argued after that, because they all knew he was right. Not long after, the night swallowed Serin and Junhua as they moved carefully through hidden forest paths, leading toward Lord Kang Daijin's estate. Unlike the royal palace, Lord Kang's residence felt colder, larger, and built less like a home and more like a fortress. Tall black walls surrounded the massive estate, while armed guards patrolled every corner with terrifying discipline. Even the lanterns outside burned darker than normal. Junhua quietly motioned for Serin to stay low as they slipped past the outer guards through an abandoned water route hidden behind the estate. The farther they went, the stranger the atmosphere became. Eventually, they discovered it, a hidden entrance beneath the estate grounds covered by heavy stone and dead vines. Junhua exchanged a look with Serin before carefully lifting the entrance open. A cold wave of air escaped immediately. Then slowly, they climbed down into darkness. The underground tunnels stretched endlessly beneath the estate. Water dripped softly from ancient stone ceilings. Old candles flickered weakly beside walls covered in strange faded symbols. Ancient bells hung from rusted chains. Burnt herbs filled the air with a bitter scent. Ceremonial bowls rested beside markings, painted into the ground with dark red ink, long dried with age. Everything about the place felt wrong. Not magical, but corrupted, like something sacred had once existed there and been twisted into evil. Serin's heartbeat grew faster the deeper they walked. Then suddenly, they found the chamber, hidden behind massive stone doors. The sight inside nearly stopped them both. Ancient scrolls covered long wooden tables. Records, names, and bloodlines, dozens and dozens of them. Orincio family records, spiritual inheritance charts, lists of missing people, and ceremonial diagrams carefully documenting human sacrifices across many years. Serin slowly picked up one of the records with trembling fingers, and her breath caught instantly. Her parents' names were there, marked with dates, marked as offerings. Her eyes widened in horror. No! Junhua quickly grabbed another document. His face darkened immediately. These disappearances. His voice lowered slowly. They were never random. Serin stared around the chamber in disbelief. The missing villagers, the spiritually gifted families, the healers, the seers, and the children, all targeted carefully, all chosen. Then finally, the horrifying truth settled between them. Lord Kang Daijin had been sacrificing spiritually gifted people for years. Not for wealth, not for politics, but to keep himself alive. Ancient spiritual corruption hidden beneath the kingdom itself. And the closer the Red Moon Festival approached, the closer he came to completing whatever horrifying ritual he had spent years preparing for. Suddenly, footsteps echoed through the tunnels. Junhua immediately grabbed Serin's hand. Hide! Without hesitation, he pulled her behind one of the massive stone pillars as underground guards passed nearby carrying lanterns. The darkness around them became suffocating. Serin's breathing quickened. Junhua stood impossibly close beside her, close enough for her to hear his heartbeat beneath the silence. The guards slowly passed, but neither of them moved immediately. For a moment, everything else disappeared. No kingdom, no danger, no prophecy. Just the two of them hidden inside darkness. Then quietly, almost like the words escaped before he could stop them, Junhua spoke. I have loved you for a very long time, Serin. Serin froze completely. His voice carried no drama, no performance, only honesty buried for years. You are the only person who ever made this kingdom feel worth saving. The words hit her harder than she expected, and for one painful moment, she almost told him everything, that she was not fully the Serin he remembered, that she came from another time, that fate itself had dragged her there. But the words never left her mouth. Because how could she explain something even she barely understood? Then suddenly, voices echoed again. Closer this time, Junhua quickly pulled away. We need to leave. Now, carefully, they escaped deeper through the underground tunnels, until they finally reached one of the outer exits. But the moment they stepped outside, they stopped. Torches surrounded them instantly. Guards. Dozens of them. The flames illuminated the cold night air as swords slowly surrounded both Serin and Junhua from every direction. Neither moved. Then slowly, the guards parted, and a single figure stepped forward calmly from the darkness. Lord Kang Daejin. Unlike the fear surrounding him, the man himself looked terrifyingly calm. His dark robes moved softly beneath the night wind, while his eyes settled directly on Serin. Not surprised. Almost satisfied. Then slowly, a faint smile appeared on his face. "After all these years," he said quietly, "the final key walks back to me on her own." Serin felt her blood run cold. Because the way he looked at her was not like a man seeing an enemy. It was like a man finally finding something he had been searching for.
Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed that episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Part 4 is coming up, and the new story, Season Heart, is also coming up. I know you guys are going to like this story, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you are new. I still remain your favorite girl, Unye, all the way from Nigeria. Thank you and bye bye.